Hello, this is Jonathan from SimpleAffiliateMarketingSystem.com. I'm just going to run really quickly through my time-tested keyword research technique. A lot of people seem to stumble on this, and it's really not that hard. I use just free tools, and I do this every time, and it works great. Okay, I just want to know, how much work essentially is a keyword going to be for me to dominate. How much traffic is that going to be, and then I've got to just judge, whether that's worth it. Okay, no magic to it or mystery. Now my product in this case is this fishing product, Evening Secret Fishing, a little device that helps people catch fish. Now my first port of call is the Google keyword tool, and most people will be pretty familiar with that. So I could type in fishing here, or if I had a good seed keyword, I'd use that. In this case I'm going to cheat because I don't, and hit the keyword IDs for my target URL, Evening Secret Fishing. If we take a look down here, I'm selecting exact match. I want people searching for these terms exactly. I don't want people loosely looking for fishing stuff. I want people, highly targeted traffic. That way I can write good articles or do great promotion based on that information. And I've also sorted descending by monthly search volume. And right up the top here is, well, I want to say crappy fishing tips, but I'm pretty sure that's pronounced crappie. So crappie fishing tips is top here, 4,400 search results. That's not breaking the server, but it's okay, depending on how competitive it is and how well the offer converts and all those details. So crappie fishing tips, and by the way, that is something that I would not have thought of. So kind of interesting that URL's flagged that right up the top there. So my next port of call is to fire up Traffic Travis. Now Traffic Travis is my all-time favorite SEO tool. When it comes up, it's got a little splash screen. I've just selected SEO analysis. You plug your keyword in here, get your results. I'm really only interested in the top 5, to be honest. Click analyze, and it comes up with this. Now what I'm really interested in is the I guess the PR of the site is kind of good to know, but also the number of backlinks to the page, which is BL, and the number of backlinks to the site. Okay, so these really tell me, or give me a pretty good idea of how hard it is to knock that site off. In this case, the number 1 spot here has only 5 recorded backlinks. Of course, this number is probably less than the actual backlinks out there, but only 5 reported backlinks to the page and 173 to the site. So as it stands, that looks like something that's pretty easy to bump off. Number 2 spot, pretty serious number of backlinks to the site, but obviously not really optimized super well for that page. And take a look at number 3 here. I think that's pretty interesting. Number 3 and number 4, low PR, brand new, 0 age, not a lot of backlinks. So interesting that number 3 is sitting up there. Maybe simple on-site SEO, or just the fact that it's got those keywords in the domain name. Often a new domain will shoot up and disappear over time. So those are the key values I'm looking for. But just out of interest, we've got a few other fields here. We've got TBL, and that's things like edu and .gov backlinks. Is it in the DMOZ directory, the Yahoo directory? Well, DMOZ is only for adventure.howstuffworks.com, and that's kind of not surprising. Title and description, H1 tags. Now, this is real basic SEO stuff, and we notice that page 1 doesn't. Maybe that's important, maybe not, but interesting that it isn't listed there. GCA, that's the last time and days that Google went to the site. We see it was 10 days ago, so just kind of interesting to know. And CEXT is kind of a fluffy one as far as I'm concerned. It's how many backlinks from within that country are pointing to that site, and this is reporting 5. So that's not something I'm really critically interested in, to be honest with you. Okay, so at this stage, looking at the number 1 spot there, that's not a lot of backlinks. And again, we don't know how high PR they are, but it's not going to take a long time to generate that number of backlinks, just looking at this information. So far, I think crappie fishing tips looks pretty good. So I head over here back to Google, and I'm going to do a couple of searches here. The first one, I just want to look at broad search results, and you can see it's giving me 444,000 results for crappie fishing tips just on a broad search. Notice here there is one AdSense ad, so possibly there's money in this niche a little bit. Sometimes it's hard to say. Maybe people have geographical targeting set to USA. I'm in New Zealand, so maybe the ads aren't displaying. But an absence of sponsored links, bit of a red flag. Now, when I'm searching, I also want to see videos. I want to see where they are. I want to see if the articles are there. I want to see Web 2.0 sites or not. I want to see if they're there or not, because that changes the approach I'm going to take. Look at this. This is a a nested result. So I might be able to get a video on video.google.com to kind of slide in here with a lot less work. Once again, if this was totally stuffed with articles from ezine articles or something like that, then I probably wouldn't want to use that approach. Okay, just of interest. Now, the next search I do is the famous in quotes search. Okay, and whoa, look at that! It's showing me 2.2 million competing pages in quotes. Now, I'm a little bit suspicious of that, and Google sometimes lies to you. So one thing you can do, hope you don't get sick from all the moving of the screen. Check this out. We click on the next page there. Okay, still the same result. Click here again. Still 2.2 million. Fishing is pretty popular, but I'm kind of doubtful that crappie fishing tips is quite that popular. And all of a sudden we're down to 261 of 266. And Google has omitted some results. Now, what does that mean? I don't know 100%. But what I do know is when I target a phrase where this happens, when I keep going down the page, it's a lot easier than if this doesn't happen, if you know what I mean. In other words, I doubt there's 2.2 million in quotes crappie fishing tips competing pages. Okay, it's just an interesting thing to note, and that's why I would never rely on that old technique of put it in quotes search. If it's more than 10,000 results, don't touch it. If for no other reason than Google's not always correct, and we just don't know. Okay, my next one that I do is all in title, because as we all know as marketers, your H1 tags, your title tags, your descriptions, that's the kind of basic stuff that you do as a marketer, right? So what all in title shows me is how many actual marketers or people who have fluked it have that are actually targeting this keyword phrase. So this is more likely to be marketers targeting that phrase. Okay, and here we have 11,200 results. Is that a lot? Not really. If this was millions or hundreds of thousands all in title, I'd be definitely worried. But 11,200, I think we can deal with that. Okay, now the next step that I do is just some competitive research. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the backlinks. I think we can get more links. We can get high PR links. There's a lot of ways that I can market and get that keyword ranked. I think the competition's not too bad in all three of those areas. It depends on how much work you want to do.